Hey y'all, welcome back to a special edition of Hopped Up Beer Review. We are celebrating the 2023 Brewers Advent Calendar. And tonight we are drinking Käuzle Helles Lager from the Kauzen-Bräu out of Ochsenfurt, Deutschland. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We are back with our Brewers Advent Calendar 2023. And this year, we're doing things a little bit differently. We realized that not all the boxes are the same. They're not laid out in the same order. So we are going to release all of our videos over the course of a couple of days, and we're going to do as many as we can based on the boxes that we have. So with that, I've got Andy in his festive attic. I've got Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, Andy?
Yeah,
since you are the German pronunciator.
It's called an app in phonics.
Käuzle.
It's a Helles Lager from Kauzen-Bräu out of Ochsenfurt, Deutschland, Germany. It's in Bavaria.
So we had it last year.
We did.
And we're going to try it again this year.
Yep. That's one thing we have realized from the Brewers Advent Calendar. From year to year, there are many of the beers that are the same. And so we've got them, so we're going to review them again.
Yeah, why not?
And some extras. So we'll do more than your normal 24.
All right. Excited to kick this off. Just waiting on you. It's normal stuff.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. All right, so Andy, the real question I have is, did you keep your notes from last year?
I did. I've got a binder. I've caught just about every. I think there may have been like one or two episodes from the very beginning that I misplaced.
So all notes from all shows.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, well, lay it on us.
Yeah, it's got to be getting pretty thick at this point.
It has helped. I'm glad I did it because some breweries that we may do another beer again from them, that helped me to go back and save me time on researching. So I don't know if y'all remember back a year, Käuzle, this delightful little Helles. It's 5.2%, 14 IBUs. The word in Germany, K-A-U-Z, Kauz, is a tawny owl. So that's why you see the owl in the front. But last year I did not talk about how this came to be. So in the town of Ochsenfurt, this brewery, at first it's micro. It's been privately owned since 1809. It originally started as the monastery brewery at Ochsenfurt. They call it Klosterbrauerei Ochsenfurt, for those who want to know. And it's in the Franconia region of Germany. So that's kind of south central, and it's in actually the lower Franconia, but it's also still part of Bavaria. Franconian region of Germany is home to more breweries per kilometer than any other area in Europe. And they're known for their Bock beer in that region. So this town of Ochsenfurt used the as their symbol, that used the owl as their symbol. Or the brewery used the owl as a symbol because of the history of the owl with the city. So didn't say when it started, but there was a silver cup in the form of a Kauzen or the tawny owl, and it was used to serve special guests and friends of Oxenfurt. And they said if you could empty the 3-liter cup in one go, you were allowed to register in the Kauzen-Bräu or whatever that is. And so it's like 3 liters in one. And so the monastery brewery adopted it in their modified form, I guess, in what the size of some of their beers and all, in 1958. And then they made the Kauzen-Bräu beer, and it was very popular. And so then they made a lighter or smaller and a lighter fare beers, the Käuzles. So this, and it's the Helles Lager is part of that series. And so there was a saying in the area, it says drink a Kauzen. So that's why they decided to name, I guess if the monastery ended, they decided to name the brewery Kauzen-Bräu, since it was so well known by that name.
That's
so
cool.
It just made sense. Forgot
Did
to
you
look
have
up the Kauzen book?
Did you have to survive the 3 liters? I mean, or did you have to keep it all down? What's
that's what I'm saying. Kauzen book, register in the Kauzen book. That's what I'm saying. Is that the cemetery there in
you will be buried here.
I'm looking that up really quick.
Yeah.
What and did you say there was a specific time frame on the 3 liters?
Just
one go.
One go.
One go.
One go. Yeah.
So a big chug.
It's like
Really big chug.
They were funneling before we knew they were funneling.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's like it looks like Kauzen book is like a register. I guess it's like a wall of fame almost.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me see.
I noticed that they also, in pulling the logo, I noticed they also have a Pilsner too. This brewery does, which it was the same logo, but it was a different color.
Yeah, I think there was 3 under this Käuzle series. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much a golden, like a guest book, the golden book. I guess, bragging rights book. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty neat.
Right. What's the place you go and you get a plate, the bar,
Flying saucer,
or
Yep.
other places have their own little gimmicks.
So,
I guess that was their gimmick, huh?
Most of these cans, or all of the cans in the brewer's advent calendar, are bigger than a normal pint. So these are all right. Is that true?
they're just slightly larger.
Yeah, they're all. It says 500.
These are half liters, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 500 milliliter. So essentially, to do 3 liters, you would have to have a 6-pack of these.
So drinking 6 of these without stopping.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's try it. Yeah. So the Kauzen book, it's just a book of Kauzen of the people who could drink it. So wow.
It's impressive.
Wonder if Andre the Giant ever made it by there.
That is
all right. Has anybody ever had this one?
I've had it twice.
Yeah.
I believe I have too. I bought a couple of these last year. So
yeah.
All right, Jay, why don't you go first?
Absolutely. Back to the advent calendars. Oh goodness, they're good. They're easy. They're light, especially when you get to the Helles like these, the Helles lagers. Light, smooth, crushable, easy drinking beer. Reminds me of what a beer, just if you said beer, this would be what it tastes like. Little carbonation, but overall good. I mean, I'm not going to deviate from my score. This is a 7 all day long. I would love to be able to add this to my standard repertoire of filler type beer at 5.2. So it's just a shame we can't get more beer like this.
Yeah, I think I'll hop in and go next. I think that, and this is the first one we're actually recording, just for timeline reference here. So I think, we're jumping right back into the advent calendar and thinking about last year and running through the one previous and having this beer and several others that we'll obviously talk about here. We've done a fair amount of macros in the last year now. Macro Monday, first Monday of every month, we'll do a macro. And so we've done, in between, we've done, 12 of them, presumably. But really come to appreciate a beer like this when you think about the macros, and why I say that is because this beer is light, it's easy to drink, it has really good flavor. It's kind of, I don't want to say what you'd want out of a macro, because obviously it's much better quality, but it's just, I really appreciate this beer, how they can make it flavorful yet light, low ABV, and you kind of get that, like Jay said, be a great filler beer. So I think that this is one that, again, I could drink often if I could get it, and maybe it'll, I guess, be in the next years, and we'll do this all again for a third time. But yeah, I really like this beer. It's light, easy to drink. It's 7.5 all day. Andy?
Well, I just wish that U.S. macros would cut down on the adjuncts and stick to the basics like this.
Yep.
They're trying to turn a profit and produce mass quantities, and they want cheap, resources to do it. So I miss this German taste. You're tasting the water and of course the hops, but they're malts and they're strains of yeast, so it's hard to replicate that from another country. So I want to see. Last year I gave it a 7.5. I'm trying to determine if it's still sticking to that 7.5 or not. The more I sip on it, like the first initial sips, I was like, oh, that's good. But I was like, wait, is it 7.5 worthy? But I think as it's it's warmed up a little bit, it's tasting a little even better. So I think it's bringing out some more of the flavor, and I'm seeing why. I think I gave it that 7.5. So I'm going to keep it at that 7.5. It's pretty good.
That is going to be a 7.3 for the Käuzle Helles Lager.
Käuzle.
Thanks, Andy.
Käuzle.
Or Google Translate there, or whatever you're using. 7.3. So last year we rated a 7.2. I was the single person that gave it a half a score higher. But yeah, I think it's a really good Helles Lager. And man, being that this is the first one, again, from a timeline standpoint, that we're actually reviewing, I am super excited to get into the rest of these, knowing mostly what's in here. And we're going to have a few that we didn't get to review last year. And that's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, they don't put the same beers in every box. And unfortunately, they put some in from last year, but hey, we're going to have a fun time running through it. And like we said, as you're watching this, you're going to know this already. We're dropping them all within a couple of days of each other. So as you're reviewing this at the beginning of December, hopefully any beer that you pull out of there, hopefully we've reviewed, and there's likely going to be some that we haven't. But we definitely appreciate you checking out this video. Would love if you would like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell to check out all of our Brewer Advent Calendar videos and our other videos that we do throughout the year. We got lots of social media links down below. We've got a merch link down below if you are interested in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch. And lastly, we have a Discord link as well. If you'd like to come talk to us, chat with us in Discord, we have a Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server, and we can talk about the Advent calendar, and maybe you can share with us your thoughts and the others who are there. With that, that's kind of a lot to say. For Jay and Andy in the attic, happy Advent calendar 2023. I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Merry Christmas.